Women and Rivers actually started off during a conversation that we had at International Rivers, where we realized how important the voices of women are and how we're not seeing those voices at decision-making tables. As a team in different regions, we interact with some amazing women leaders from different communities. And so we thought, why don't we bring everyone together and let's hear what they have to say, celebrate their work. We had the inaugural Women and Rivers Congress. And then from there, we had the idea, continue improving these leaders' skills. And that's when the Women and Rivers Accelerator was born. And this accelerator we're doing in partnership with the Women's Earth Alliance. We decided to partner with them on a Women and Rivers Accelerator that would help women in our regions where we are currently working enter a program, skill up in areas that they feel that they needed more technical knowledge, more project management, campaigns, communication, advocacy ideas. We've known for centuries how Indigenous women from around the world hold so much knowledge within themselves and within their communities. And so it's important to recognize that this information and wisdom already exists. The answers are already out there. We just need to share them with each other.
My name is Smilemit Lipcha. I'm an environment and social activist. I'm from Zongu Valley, located in North Sikkim, in Northeast India. Being a Lipcha, like indigenous community, I belong to River Rongyong, which is a very, very sacred river for Lipcha indigenous community, and also one of the important tributaries of River Tista. I started at very young age, way back like 15 years. And when I heard that in our river, like power project dams are coming up, like really felt that this is really not good, not only for the community, but for the environment and for our land. And in 2007, like affected citizen of Tista, they started this historic hunger strike in Gangtok, in the capital of Sikkim, for 915 days. And I also took part, and still today, personally from my heart, that I really feel that I need to protect our ancestral land. With the accelerator, when women are coming together, and exchanging their struggles and their stories, we really need that, because we need an inspiration, we need a motivation to work, to continue to whatever the work that we are doing. My only hope for future is the unity among the Lipcha indigenous community in Zongu especially. If our people stands strongly united among ourselves, I think we can definitely save our River Rongyong and the last stretch of River Tista.
My name is Minkit Lapcha and I'm from Darjeeling. I am a storyteller and a filmmaker. For the past couple of years, I've been working a lot with women and waters. I've been writing stories, photo documentaries, and also, during COVID pandemic, it was a great opportunity for me to work with Nepal and Bangladesh women and connecting us with the Sikkim women. In my interactions with a lot of women during the storytelling sessions, made me realize that women are the ones who are often marginalized, or nobody talks about ecological hazards that's happening to women. I was also a part of Women and Rivers Congress in the conference. It was a beautiful opportunity where we got to interact and engage and connect with a lot of women from across the world. And it was my great learning where I also realized that the problems are the same everywhere. It is not the country versus this country problem, but it was capitalist versus the marginalized communities problem.
My name is Violet Matiru, and I facilitate the Athi River Community Network. I grew up on a farm in the outskirts of Nairobi with no electricity. We used to even have to go and fetch water from the rivers. That gave me a sort of love for nature. So when I went to university, I chose to do zoology. The conservation sector at that time was very colonial, so you sort of felt the glass ceiling was rather low, especially for indigenous Africans and more so for indigenous African women. So I just sort of left and went to the US and did a master's in business administration. Then when I came back, I started working with local NGOs doing environmental advocacy. to make the policies and the laws more responsive to the needs of Kenyans. 80% of my country, Kenya, is classified as arid and semi-arid. So water is very precious, and yet at the same time, the communities who rely on these rivers end up really suffering. And we started asking ourselves, how are these international policies really converting or changing the lives of my mother is still cooking the same way with the 3 stones. So we've been working together now with the communities to try and see how can we then also start pushing back against the pollution. Communities sometimes backlash against wetlands or rivers. One of the wetlands, there was what is called the Lari massacre during the colonial times, where a lot of people were killed and thrown into these wetlands. So the communities have trauma when they think of these wetlands, and they see them as their enemy and something they would like to drain. So those kinds of issues are the ones that make communities sometimes not look after their rivers, much as the rivers are their lifeline.
Hi, my name is Nirmala Gowda, co-founder and curator of Pani.Earth. We are a citizen research-based organization with regards to rivers and pollution. Based in Bangalore, we work on the rivers of Kaveri Basin in South India. The situation with regards to rivers are very grim, and in the challenging times that we are living, the most important thing is for the communities to come together, communities, citizens, and the government to come together to solve this problem today. We've been working on the Vrishabhavati and Arkavati Basin for the past 7 years. It is heavily polluted with sewage, solid waste, and industrial waste. One of the first things we realized as we started working is that there was not sufficient knowledge about the river. Where does it start? Where does it go? Where is the sewage coming in from? Where are the dams and where are the hydroelectric plants? For us to get a complete picture of what's happening in the river basin, so we can kind of figure out what are the solutions that are relevant locally to that river basin, working alongside the communities.
We hope that we can continue this work. This is only just the beginning. We see how much more there is to do and how many more women that we can include in future accelerators.
I would like to really thank the International Rivers for giving such an opportunity for people like us who is from minor community where our voices have not been heard by the state authority. And so I feel like I'm very happy that I can be a voice for my community.
When women were speaking up, I think that was one of the most inspiring times for me, where I realized that these are some areas that I really want to work. I think it has given me a lot of inspiration and also the confidence that I think women can do a lot.
As women, I think we're very well placed in terms of protecting the rivers. It becomes very critical for us to not only just take care of our bodies and our family, but also the environment around you, which at this point, the critical need is in terms of the rivers and how we're treating it and how the waste comes back into our bodies and has impact much beyond our imagination, much beyond our child, much beyond our family, much beyond our city and communities.
Our biggest successes they have women behind them. So why women, I think, are so well positioned to defend rivers is that because ultimately, at the household levels, women are the ones who are responsible for domestic water. Women are the ones who bear the brunt. When there is pollution and there are people who are sick, it's usually women who are the caregivers. These women are bravely and fiercely fighting for the rights of their community and for the restoration of the dignity of their fellow women. Because at the end of the day, when rivers are polluted, the women really suffer.
The challenges that many of the women work with are immense. We need programs like the Women in Rivers Accelerator to reach multiple women across the world in multiple languages, in all locations. And for that to happen, we need your support. So join us.